No, if not, you can share.
Okay.
Welcome to 40 Sports Talk on 1320 AM radio WARA. We have the Foxborough boys basketball team here with us right now, led by Coach Jonathan Gibbs. We are joined by some players, Andrew Finn, Sam Golub, and Alex Penders. We will be going on with this interview. First, to start off this, would you guys want to give like a roundup of your position? Obviously, you guys are all juniors. You were telling me that before the show. Thought they were seniors. A little bit mind-blowing. I have full-grown men in junior year right in front of me. So what positions do you guys play, basically?
I play the forward spot, so I basically I'm around the rim a lot, looking for rebounds, little dunks. Not dunks, I can't dunk yet.
Yeah.
But dunk the ball down to me, take some layups. Occasionally pop out and shoot a three.
Yeah, I'm more of a slashing forward, so like I play on the perimeter, and then I feed Huck and I feed Golub, and we move the ball around, do that sort of stuff. I mean, the offense kind of works through, and I like to play on the perimeter more so than on the block.
No, exactly. Gives you a little bit of place for playmaking during the game.
Right.
What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I'm the shooter. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just the shooter of the team.
The shooting guard?
Yeah, shooting guard, yeah.
Sam, where's the farthest you ever pulled up from? I gotta know that.
I don't know. Sometimes it depends. I can pull from deep, volleyball line sometimes,
Dang. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I probably would not have the courage to pull up from the logo or anything just in case the coach gets a little mad. Because if you make it, coolest play of the year. You miss it, you're getting on the bench for the rest of the game.
Bench, yep.
So, basically, what we'll start off with, I want to ask you guys have played for 3 years so far. You still have your fourth year to look forward to. What is the biggest mindset that you have going into that last year? What are you planning on improving on? What are you planning on just accomplishing that season?
I think as a team, we want to go win a state championship, number one. But just bonding as a team, getting close, because those are the friendships that last your whole life.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I would have to agree with almost everything that Huck just said. Going into our junior year, this year we only had 3 seniors on the team, and then next year we're going to have how many? 5, 6? Mm-hmm. So we're going to have so much depth from the seniors, and we're definitely going to look to win some games and make some noise in the state tournament.
Yeah, we've been playing with each other since as long as I can remember, and we made a goal before the season that we want to win the state championship. We want to win the Davenport, so we're going to look to get that done.
Okay, I also meant to mention here, if you want to call in and talk to these boys, the number is 508-222-1320. That is 508-222-1320. You can call in, ask some questions for the coach and the players. So obviously I just asked the players what their biggest mindset going next season is. Coach, what is your mindset going next season? What do you really want to stress to your players? What do you want them to avoid? What do you just want, basically?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to what they want to accomplish. We had a meeting last week where I had them, create goals for themselves for next season, and they talked about it as a group, and they came to a consensus that, like they said, they want to win our league, which is the Davenport division of the Hockomock League, and they want to make a run at a Division II state title, which is awesome. So now it really comes down to helping them get to that point. So we've met with everybody individually to talk about their role, looking ahead to next season, and goals for each individual player, and then how they can get there. So putting together a plan for each guy through the spring, summer, and fall of how they can improve individually and take those steps they need to take heading into next season, and then obviously we'll look to get better as a team as well. But like they said, we have a really promising group coming back. They accomplished a lot this year, and we're just looking to build on that heading into next season. And I think it's a really exciting group, and the sky is the limit. We're looking forward to next season for sure.
Yeah, what helps is when you have such a strong class of juniors, they become the seniors, they're going to be the leaders, but when they're already in that leadership role as juniors, they basically have a year of training before that, so they're going to be able to lead up the freshmen, lead up the sophomores, get everyone ready for the season. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, a lot of these guys have been on varsity, getting a lot of minutes going back to their sophomore year, so they'll be in their third year of getting significant varsity minutes. And this year's team had a really good blend of some older guys with some younger guys. We're looking at having a really good senior class next year. We're also looking at some younger guys that are looking to take that next step and be ready to fill in as well. So it's a really exciting group.
Yeah, Coach, are there any players, freshmen and sophomores specifically mainly, that you see having a big impact next season that you think are just basically showing a lot of potential on the bench or just waiting in the sidelines?
Yeah, for sure. We had 4 guys on the team this year, 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores that were underclassmen, and they all mostly played JV minutes in the games when game night rolled around, but they were in varsity practice every day, which was huge for them, so they got a chance to not only learn and see how we do things at the varsity level, but also compete with these older guys every day, and that really helped them get better, and we saw a lot of development from them throughout the course of the season. We saw them really grow in confidence, and now they're looking to now take on a bigger role next year and really be contributors on game night. So it's, like I said, it's a really exciting blend of some really good seniors, but also some promising younger players as well.
No, for sure. Those reps in practice against the older players, too, are definitely readying their bodies, getting them just ready in the right mindset for next year. That's going to be great to see. So moving on, obviously, the last game of the season, it came within about 3 points against Walpole, I believe. You guys fought your heart out, though. I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of congratulations for how hard you fought in that game. I was reading up on it throughout the entire time building up to this show. You guys just did an amazing job during that. But what I wanted to ask, when you guys went on such a run where you almost got over that hill, finally took them down, was there kind of a sense after the game with the team of just kind of a brotherhood that was made? That you guys kind of had just such a good game after the game? Was it more like you guys were pressed together, more basically concise in your movements together, like you were one singular team instead of separate bodies on that team?
Yeah, I think definitely it was a little upsetting still, like a little bit like we were just right there. We should have taken it, but we knew there's not much we could have done. A couple plays here and there could have went a different way, but we knew we put everything into it, and it didn't come out the way we wanted, but we knew that we had nothing left to show out there.
Yeah, the fact that you could put that much effort into the game, though, that really must give you hype for next year, because you guys still have one full straight year of competing in the playoffs, competing during that regular season. I feel like ending the season on that note is honestly probably for the better, because next year you guys are going to want it. When you guys play Walpole next year, I can imagine the fire you guys are going to have.
For sure. I think that we're really hungry. And, I mean, you have 3 players here, like Sam, Andrew, and myself. And we're also missing one, Ryan, who are all going to be juniors going into seniors. And we were all starters as sophomores, all starters as juniors, and we're going to all be starters as seniors. So we're definitely going to look to use that fire that you said to make some noise. And it does still hurt, but at the end of the season, you know, we showed that we weren't a 24 seed, which is what we were actually ranked going into that game. We proved that we were a lot better than that, and hopefully next year we'll get the bye and, you know, keep winning some games.
No, 100%. I feel like the rankings just mess with people sometimes. I can't believe they ranked guys 24. Sometimes they won't even base on the record base, they'll base on the games that they watched. It's just confusing sometimes. It really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so this year they have a whole new, they started a whole new system where now it's a statewide tournament.
No, exactly.
It used to be like sectionals, and they used to be just based on strictly your record, your winning percentage. Now they have this whole ranking system that's based on your strength of schedule, it's based on your margin of victory, and all these different factors. You know, unfortunately, we had some challenges, some adversity early in the season. We got off to a little bit of a slow start. So our final record maybe wasn't as high as we hoped it was going to be. So obviously that affected our seeding. Our strength of schedule coming out of the Hockomock League is really good. So that's something that helped us. But our margin of victory, you know, this year 9 out of our 12 wins were by like 6 points or less. You know, it's just that's how our league is. Every game is a battle. Every game's a grind. So we didn't have a lot of huge margin of victory points. So I think between that and the slow start, our seed wasn't quite as high as we would have hoped.
I feel like.
But you know, we were still able to get a home game, which was a lot of fun for these guys. We didn't have obviously we didn't have a very easy path through. You know, Grafton was an outstanding team that we played in round 1, and then obviously Walpole as well. Not that you're going to have any easy games in the state tournament, but you obviously want to get your seed as high as possible to give yourself the best possible path. So that'll certainly be a goal of ours for next year. But yeah, you know, I think we were better than probably the 24th best team in Division II. I think we showed that in the 2 games that we played. But just for these guys to have the experience of playing in the state tournament was awesome because, you know, last season when they were sophomores, there was no state tournament at all in Massachusetts because of COVID. You know, everybody in the state missed out on it, and that was really a shame because the state tournament is such a special thing, and these guys got to experience 2 games where, you know, the environment is just different. You know, the crowds are unbelievable. You know, they got a home game. The whole town is there. We got former players there with their families. We got, you know, all the youth basketball players in town are there. The whole student body's there. You know, it's just a special environment, you know. So I was really happy for them that they got to experience it. And then the Walpole game was nuts, too. They don't have the biggest capacity over there, but it was a complete sellout. Literally, people were showing up. I found out after the game, people were showing up and being told, like, there's no room left. They had to go down to the auditorium at Walpole and watch the game on, like, a big screen.
Yeah, you guys reached the viewer limit. That's
right,
insane.
so these guys literally played in front of a sellout crowd. So that experience was a lot of fun for them, and I think will also help us when we get back there next year.
Yeah, Coach, we got a caller calling in right now. Caller, you are on the line. It's 40 Sports Talk. What do you want to say to the Foxborough boys?
DN.
Okay.
Oh, that was weird.
We have a second call coming in. Caller, do you have anything you would like to say to these boys before we go to the next call? Okay, well, they just hung up. We are going to the second call. Caller, you are live on 40 Sports Talk with the Foxborough boys basketball team.
Hey, thanks for having me. I don't know if you can hear me all the way down in Florida.
There's Dom.
Dominic.
Okay, yeah. That's Dominic.
Hey, Coach, I want to apologize for not being in studio. I did college basketball the last 2 weeks, and then I had a well-earned vacation, so it didn't work out. I was hoping to, but maybe you can definitely do another show, as your team gets better. And from what I've seen and what I've read in the standings and the Hawks, you guys are just getting better and better. I was wondering what you could do that too.
Okay, he was saying that you guys are getting better and better. It was a little hard to decipher throughout the phone call. Dom, the service does not seem the best, but you're doing all good. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask the Foxborough team as you're obviously in Florida right now?
Yeah, can they hear me?
Yeah, you guys can hear him over that phone.
Yep.
Yeah, they can hear him.
So my question was, Coach, as I could tell, looking at least the last 3 years, as I was checking out your stats, you guys are just getting better and better. And I was wondering, in a nutshell, what do you contribute that to?
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you following the team and your kind words about it. Honestly, us getting better and better is really a credit to these guys. You know what I mean? It's to the players. They've continued to work really hard and make a big commitment. These guys all year long, not just in the winter, but in the spring, summer, and fall, they commit themselves to, getting in the weight room, working on their basketball skills, playing a ton of basketball, AAU, different team activities that we do. They just spend a ton of time. And then during the season as well, they show up every day and they work their tails off in practice every day. They listen, they accept coaching, and just the effort and attitude that they bring. We have all high character guys. They're good students. They're good kids, and it's just their effort and their coachability that has allowed us to get better. The credit really goes to those guys.
So my next question, but I just got a couple more before I let you go.
Sure.
As far as an AAU program, a lot of these high schools have these AAU programs, the feeder systems. You see it at Bridgewater, Raynham. You used to see it over at the old Pro Cassidy. I know they have it over at Whitman Hanson. Do you guys have any type of feeder system like an AAU program where the kids can work their way up and get ready for the high school program?
Yes and no. I do have an AAU program that I help run. It's called Take Charge. We start with teams as young as 3rd and 4th grade sometimes. So we do have some guys that come up through that program, and we do have some high school guys that play with that program, but we don't necessarily mandate that or anything. There's a lot of good AAU programs out there, and we have a lot of guys, a lot of Foxborough kids that play for different programs as well, whether they're still at the youth levels or even at the high school level. So, my thing is I just want to make sure they're playing, and I want to make sure they're getting good coaching. So if there's a kid that plays for a different program, but it's a good reputable program with good coaching, then that's fine too. It's just been great. Over the years, it's been a good way for us to keep guys playing basketball year-round, not just during the winter, and I think it has paid a lot of dividends for us.
Well, one thing we could definitely do with the younger kids that are in that program you're affiliated with, we would love to have them come on, have the little guys. I know they would love to try to be on the air and promote that AAU program you just referenced to. That would be fun.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they would love that.
Then my next question of the players is as far as work ethic. What did you guys work on? Since we fell in the field of 32. I'll tell you right now, Coach, I am not a big fan, and Luis Cabral probably could tell you more than anybody. I am not a fan of this state tournament. I think the sectionals was more structured in a way, even though those had certain teams playing different divisions, which I still think is a bunch of malarkey, but, it is what it is. But as far as work ethic for you guys, what do you contribute to? What did you want to work on coming into this season to help out your personal game? And I'll leave it at that, you guys, and thank you. I'll see you all soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, Dom. Okay, that was a good call. We will answer that work ethic question real quick. We do have to go to our first break, so we are going to come back with the work ethic question for the Foxborough boys basketball. Going to be a little less frazzled after this. Started the show off a little bit bad on my part. That was my bad, guys. We'll be right back with 40 Sports Talk. You want to call in 508-222-1320. That's 508-222-1320. Here's the first break. Welcome back to 40 Sports Talk on 1320 AM Radio WARA. We have the Foxborough boys basketball team with us right now. That is led by Coach Jonathan Gibbs. Then the players are Andrew Finn, Sam Golob, and Alex Penders. If you want to call in and talk to them, the number is 508-222-1320. I am Joe Dez here with Catherine Conley, Justin Ferreira, the sports master. Almost messed up for you, Catherine. Meant to say KC there. Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, I can't forget the acronym for that. Almost messed up there.
That's okay.
We have Lucy Cabral taking the photos behind this right
A.k.a.
now.
the sports master. No, not the sports master. Paparazzi.
Okay, we're all jumbled starting this off right now. We're going to get back into this. Gonna ask some questions for the players right now. I meant to ask you this earlier. So, Sam, you were talking to Andrew earlier. You called him Huck. Or meant to say Alex. I am almost messing this up every single facet so far. This is on me, you guys. So, Alex, you were talking to Andrew earlier. I heard you call him Huck. Was that like a Huck Finn joke? His last name is Finn?
So that's actually a funny story. It is that type of joke, and it's just kind of wired into my brain that that's like what we call him nowadays. Yeah. But like, he can probably tell it better than I can. But one of his football coaches gave it to him in like 4th grade, and it's just kind of stuck with him for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's what everybody's called me for forever. I mean, when I first met Sam, it took him about a year and a half to know that my actual name was Andrew and not Huck. So it's just a nickname that I got when I was younger playing football, and it stuck with me throughout middle school, high school.
Yeah, just forever. Though it's funny, football coaches have to be the best at nicknames. I got my nickname from a football coach. He started calling me Joe Dez because there's too many Joes on the team. One of my friends named Matthew Pequinese, I got called Matt Peck for the last 4 straight years because of that. Huck Finn, that's just perfect. Yeah. That's actually so good. So, but now, starting off, you guys obviously, Dom asked you the question right before the break, so we'll hop back into that real quick. He was talking about your work ethic. What are you guys planning on working on most entering the next season and beyond?
Well, not surprising here, but I think my number one thing is the weight room. I think all of us can always get faster and stronger. And I think just if you can maintain the basketball stuff, like still shooting around, getting your layups in, putting in the work, and then you're getting faster and stronger, you're going to get better no matter what.
No, for sure. Living in the weight room helps you so much next season.
I would 100% agree with the weight room thing, especially for myself. I need to add a lot of muscle mass and do a lot of that stuff. I do play basketball year-round. We just talked about AAU programs. I play for Middlesex Magic, which is in the area, and it's a really premier program around here. So like I'm doing that year-round as well. So I'm always working on my game, but like definitely getting in the weight room and working. And I mean, I was lucky enough to be voted an All-Star my sophomore year and this year as a junior. For our league, and I think that like you can see like the great growth that I've made from those 2 years, from sophomore season to junior season, and hopefully we'll make that jump again from junior to senior season.
Yeah, you got voted an All-Star in the Huckamuck League, right?
Yes, twice.
That's a hard league to get voted for. That's a sophomore too. That's impressive, man. Nice job.
Thank you.
No, that's really cool. What about you, Sam? What's your main goal?
Yeah, also just weight room. I've been working out with Huck during the off season so far, and I just want to keep getting stronger, especially for defense. I'm really trying to step up from last year to this year, and also just making sure that I keep hitting shots. Like that's my job out there, so I need to make sure I can keep hitting those. So.
Yeah, keeping consistency for sure good, because it's really easy to get up the sport after the season's over. Just say, okay, I'll get back at training camp next year. When you're working all year, you never lose that skills. You don't get rusty. You don't have to get the rust off when the season starts. Easily the way to do it. Yep. Okay, so KC or Justin, do either of you have any questions for the players right now or the coach?
Yeah, I do. So my first question for you guys is, what do you guys do to prepare yourselves for an opponent?
So usually before every game we'll go in, we'll watch some film, maybe like 30, 35 minutes, and then we'll go around. Usually normal games that's not a tournament, we'll go watch the JV team play, sit on the sidelines. Around halftime we'll get ready, shoot around a little bit, and stretch out, do what we got to do, and then once the time comes, we get out there, put our music on. Run This Town's always on right before the game by Rihanna. And
yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, it's our favorite. Get out there, and we tend to focus a lot, not a lot of messing around before the game.
Yeah, we have a joke that Coach Gibbs is the master of the scout. So he'll watch up to like 3 games of the teams that we're gonna play. So that's like a lot of his time that he puts into like making sure that we're gonna be prepared for what they're gonna play against us, what they're gonna do against us, and then we implement those principles and all that stuff in practice. We have a nice little paper scout that you can't see because it's secretive, but it helps us out. It helps us get prepared for the teams. We watch some film, and then we get in the gym and try and do our job.
Yeah, the only real way to learn how a team plays is watching them. You can obviously read like news articles, get a little bit of it, but you're not going to understand how they play unless you fully watch the film. Coach, do you spend like multiple hours every week doing that then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's multiple hours every day, really. I'll try to get as much as I can. Nowadays, there's obviously a lot of film out there with the technology that everyone has right now. So, I'll watch whatever I have, but a lot of times it ends up being 3, 4, 5 games that an opponent plays. We'll watch them on film, and we just break everything down. We break down how they score, we break down tendencies of each player, we break down all the different sets that they run, and we'll boil it down to one scouting report that we end up giving the team. But usually the prep really for these guys starts the day before. In practice the day before, we'll work on exactly the things we have to do to either defend their major actions, defend their major plays, how we're going to score against them. Then after practice, we'll give them the scout, we'll go over it. And then the right before the game, we'll actually watch film. I'll show them like clips, you know what I mean? So we'll watch film clips of all their players and how they score, their tendencies. We'll show those plays that they run. We kind of show them everything the other team's going to do on film as we get into our pregame routine. So they get it they do it in practice, then they read it on the scout, then they see it on the film. We kind of try to hit them with a bunch of different ways of doing it.
No, there's got a little bit of everything there. We have another call coming in right now. Caller, you are live on 40 Sports Talk with the Foxborough boys basketball team. Caller, are you there, or are we just hearing the background noise?
Yeah, no.
Oh, nice. Okay, there we go.
Little guy. Yeah, we have a little guy that wants to say hello.
Nice.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Bryce. How are you, buddy?
Good. Who do you want to say hi to? Say it louder. Hi,
Hey, Bryce, how you doing?
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Bryce.
Hi, Sam.
What's up, Bryce?
That's my
Hi,
4.
Daddy.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? There's my 4-year-old son right there. He's one of our super fans.
Huh, that's awesome.
Calling in to say hi. Huck's his favorite player. So
Go Warriors.
go Warriors. That's right, buddy. All right. Thanks for calling in, bud.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, buddy. He's a huge Huck fan.
That was the cutest call we could have gotten online. That was awesome. Wow.
It's fun.
Coach, I did not realize you were a dad as well.
Oh yeah. Yep. So I got 2 boys. They're 7 and 4.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
yeah, a couple super fans. Yeah. Yep. For sure.
No, that's really cool to see. So, Sam, I almost left you in the dark there. What are your real pregame rituals basically before the game?
I kind of just want to lock in before the game, listen to some music, and go over the scout. We have for the players, for the starters, like me, Alex, and Huck, we have certain players we have to guard, obviously, and we really want to lock in on that. So get ready for the game.
No, for sure. That is easily the smartest way to do it. Just get in the right mindset, because you don't want to be thinking about things outside of the game. If you're thinking about your friends, thinking about stuff that's going on around school, that's not going to help you in the game. You want to be focused on just hitting that shot for sure. Mm-hmm. What about you, Justin? You got any questions to ask him?
Yes, I do. Is there anything any of you want to improve on to get better at?
I think for me personally, my main thing is just getting my 2-point field goal percentage up. I play a lot around the rim, so I shot around 48% here this year, so I got to get that up a little bit more, make sure it's more better, higher percentage shot down there.
I think that's an excellent question to ask, first of all. And I think that there's always things that can be improved on over the course of the season. I have multiple things that I would like to work on. I would say, as well as Huck, I need to improve my shooting numbers, especially from outside the perimeter as well as inside the perimeter, just making sure that I'm making shots as much as I can. But mostly for me, it's my strength and conditioning. I need to make sure that I'm in great shape and not getting out-muscled by players in our league.
For me, I think it's defense, which also starts in the weight room, so I really want to get better at that, and I really just want to get my 3-point field goal percentage up too. I kind of struggled at the end of the season, but I want to get that up for sure.
No, it's smart to just keep working on your game for sure. You guys keep talking about the weight room. I actually have to ask this. I almost stopped myself from asking this question. You guys bench press at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, bench press, main exercise that matters, trust me. It might not help you in basketball too much, but bench press, trust me, it'll work. No, I've been lifting since 6th grade. I love the weight room. It's easily the best place to be.
Yeah.
So, continuing on, is there any opponents for next year that you're looking forward to that you already have basically written down on your sheet? This game is going to be one that I go off in.
We want North, man.
You want North?
We took a tough loss to North. I hate North.
Yeah.
Every sport I play, I want to beat North, but that's just me.
North Attleboro?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I know, Huck. I can't really show my affiliation with North in this room because KC is a veteran from North Attleboro. I, of course, go to Fee, and we don't really have the best relationship with North Attleboro, as you obviously know. So, KC KC is a little bit of the enemy in here, I guess, right now.
Nah.
Nah, just KC, I'm joking. But nah. So yeah, North Attleboro, you guys obviously said you're looking forward to that. Is that true for you too, Sam and Alex?
I would say yes. I don't say that I hate them. Like, I wouldn't say that. But what I would say is that another one that we're circling on our calendar is definitely Sharon.
Sharon.
They're the team that won the league this year that we wanted. Like, so we're looking at them and we're like, they're where we want to be. So in order to get there, we got to knock them off.
No, exactly. You got to beat the top dog, basically. That's gonna be great. What about you, Sam?
And yeah, Sharon and North for sure, but Mansfield's coming down to our league next year, and I think that we really want to. We took a tough loss to them this year in the beginning of the season, and I think we need to definitely get 2 wins on them this year. So
Mansfield's gonna be in the Huckamuck next year?
Yep.
They weren't in the Huckamuck this year?
The Davenport.
Davenport. Okay,
Oh,
okay. That makes a lot of sense. I was confused for a second. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, no, obviously those enemies for next year, that makes sense for sure. I think Sharon's going to be a great game because you obviously said they won the division.
They did, yes, they did.
Yeah, so now once you tape down that top dog, everything else is just going to be way easier too. That's going to be great. So we've obviously have covered a lot so far. We talked about basically what you want to improve on next season, top enemies for next year. What would you guys say is your mindset kind of on the whole college field? Do you think that you guys are going to be working on getting recruited and scouted next year mainly, that you're going to be reaching out to colleges, calling scouts, get them to come to your games, or what's that whole field looking like for you guys?
For me personally, I'm more focused on football when it comes to like college. So I'm in like the recruiting process right now for football. But obviously for Alex, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he'll have some people coming down to the games next year.
Thank you, man. No, but yes, I am looking forward to the college recruiting experience. It's kind of already started now that we're into the spring season, which is my main AAU season, as I stated before. So like this spring is going to be really big for my recruitment, hopefully. And then going into the winter, we'll see where our options are and continue to work based off of that.
No, that's awesome. I kind of didn't really think about it. You could be scouted during AAU too, because they're not only coming to high school games; they're going to everywhere to find the top prospects. That's gonna be so cool. Yep. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, just I made a little highlight reel thing, and I'm just gonna send it to coaches and see where that goes. So yeah.
You make that on Huddle?
Yeah, Huddle.
There used to be a joke in my school where this kid would airdrop his Huddle highlights just every girl in the class, so they had on those brave point stuff.
Yeah.
So Huck, what position do you play in football?
I'm playing offensive line and defensive end. I'm not really sure. We had a good run this year in football, so we had 4 starting offensive linemen that were all seniors, so I'm not really sure where they'll put me this year, but I'll be somewhere there.
No, 100%. They're going to find a spot for you. If they had 4 of the offensive linemen starting.
I was the only non-senior that started on the offensive line, so I'm not sure if I'll still play the same position or if I'll get moved somewhere else with the seniors being gone, but...
No, either way, that's just impressive to see. Being able to break into that line when it's all seniors or the only junior, that's so good. So we are going into our second break. We'll be right back with the Foxborough boys basketball team. This is Joe Dez, KC, Justin Ferreira, the Sports Master, and Lucy Cabral at 40 Sports Talk. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA. You can call in at 508-222-1320. We are here with the Foxborough boys basketball team. So, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned you played football. So, do you think it's helpful for you to get stronger from playing basketball?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think with me, my position, it correlates a lot with football, and I go out there, I bang a lot of bodies. They got a big guy that's going to come in. I'm usually the one that's going to be guarding him and keeping him out of the paint. You like to get under kids' skin a lot, so I like to use my size to just, throw them off their game a little bit.
Right, so I wanted to ask, it's basically for all of you, what are your expectations going into next season?
I think we're definitely going to be a good team. I think we're going to make a run. Expectations, I'd say we want to win the Davenport, definitely. So we're going to go out there and give every team that we play a run for their money.
Yeah, I would agree with everything that Huck just said. I think that we're expecting to have a really, really good season given the core of seniors that we're going to be returning to the team and the core of leaders that we're going to be returning to the team. We have a lot of guys who are going to be captains for different sports. I know that Huck, as he said, he's going to be a football captain this year. I'm going to be a soccer captain. I was a junior captain this season. And we're really looking for that depth of seniors and that really good class of juniors and sophomores to come in, and we're gonna try and make some noise.
Yeah, definitely. We have a really balanced team. We have Ryan LeClaire who's our point guard. He's a really scrappy guard. Plays really, really, really good defense. Always guards the best player. Myself, the shooter of the team. We have Alex who can score on all three levels. We have Huck who plays really good defense, gets rebounds. And I think we're gonna be a really good team next year. So yeah.
No, for sure. Having your sights set high is how you have to do it coming into the season. You can't be one of the teams that is okay, I want to go there and maybe make the playoffs. If we don't make the playoffs, not that bad. We always got next year. You guys have to be focused on, I want to win the Davenport, as you guys just said. It's great to see, for sure. So we actually just got a text, I believe, from Dom asking for one more question for all you guys. What is the biggest adversity that you guys dealt with last season?
I'd say definitely coming out of the OA game. Coaches talked to us a lot about this, but coming out of the OA game, we were 2-5. Against a team that we had beaten in summer league. We went into the game we're gonna beat these kids, and we could have just given up, just rolled over and been this is it. We just lost to a team. We're not gonna win the Davenport, but we hung in there and gave ourselves a chance to win it. We didn't win it this year, but we'll be back at it next year.
Yeah, I'll answer this question with a little Gibbs quote. He always says, "No one feels sorry for you," is the little anecdote that he uses a lot, and Andrew is 100% right. We had a stretch of games where we won our first game of the season, and then we played Mansfield, and we played one of our worst games of the season, I would say. We played Attleboro, we played we played Franklin, and then we played OA, right? All in a week or 2 weeks. And those are those are all teams that were competing for the top league or for the top spot in their leagues, and coming out of that, we were 2-5, and we were looking at the season we're going to need to win some games. We went on a little bit of a run, and then we put ourselves in the state tournament. So, yeah,
the fact you guys managed to win so many, they end up being ranked throughout the state. That's great to see. You guys end up getting to play a little bit. You end up winning a game in the playoffs, end up showing you belong there. It's great. What do you say?
Yeah, definitely what they said, but obviously COVID, it's people on the team, and it's tough when someone gets COVID, and yeah, pretty much. I mean, also masks too. We only had one game, and it was 2 games. We had the Walpole game and the Grafton game, and it was both playoff games that we didn't have to wear masks, and obviously that kind of messes up your game a little bit. So yeah.
No, that really changed everything. One thing I meant to ask you guys about. Just had to clear a throw right there. That was weird. Wow, it sounded like I was one of those smokers commercials from the 80s. That was disappointing there. But no, what I wanted to ask you guys about with COVID, you guys obviously had those 2 years where you couldn't really have fans in the sections. There's nobody really watching and cheering you on. When you had that aura around the entire gym, did it really change how you played? Did it invigorate you a little bit more to actually go and win this game?
Yeah, it was really weird. We even at this point in this season, we had a couple of games of a stretch where we couldn't have fans, and it was just the school wasn't allowing it. Yeah,
Dang.
But it's just a different game. It's you have an extra player out there when your fans are out there loud. It gives you so much momentum. There's a point where you can't get too involved with it, but if you can let it feed into your defense and stuff, and it gives you a lot of energy, motivates you a lot.
No, 100%. When people are cheering your name from the crowd, it just makes you want to go harder. Like when people are hyping you up, you want to give them something to hype you up for, and then that makes you drive for the basket, maybe go for a shot you wanted to take them before, that ends up sinking in, everyone gets hyped. Just change the entire environment.
For sure. I would also say it goes in the opposite way, too. Like when we're playing against teams, they're always cheering against you. I know my friend here loves to be the villain when I'm playing teams. But I think it is a great environment. I'm super excited to have fans back in the gym. It is like another person on your team, especially we have the Foxborough super fans here at Foxborough High School. I mean, we really packed the gym, and it is great to have the fans back in the gym, I would say.
No, 100%. Even you actually brought up the other side of that. I didn't really think about that before. How when the other team's chanting against you, it can change how you play for sure. Huck, have you ever seen the series between the Hawks and the Knicks? I believe it was last year where Trae Young was at Madison Square Garden. That's kind of how I'm picturing you right now. There's a picture of him just looking at the whole crowd while they're booing and freaking out. He's just smiling from the side. 100% is just the best way to do it because then you can actually feed off that crowd's energy to hype you up yourself when they're hyping up the other team.
Yeah.
So, Sam, what about you?
Yeah, the super fans at Foxborough, they really get it done with the themes. They come out with different themes every game, and they really bring the energy. So it's great to have them, and hopefully they're going to bring it next year too. So
yeah, and I think I just want to give them just kind of a general shout out. Like the super fans were awesome this year. You know, last year we weren't allowed. You know, no one was allowed to have any fans, and I think that everybody missed coming to the games. And it was almost like this year they were making up for lost time. You know what I mean? They were had a lot of pent up energy, I guess. You know what I mean? But they came out right in our season opener against Stoughton. Like it was an unbelievable crowd. And I thought they were awesome this year and really gave us a lift at a lot of our home games. But you asked the question about the biggest challenge this year. These guys, so we played our first two games. We had a great double overtime win against Stoughton, and then we had a game at Mansfield where we lost. And then we unfortunately had a couple issues with COVID where we had an 11-day pause. We didn't get to practice the entire Christmas vacation. We went 11 days without being together as a team at all. No practice, no team activities, nothing. And that's a time of year where we were really hoping to get a lot better. Like we were like, all right, we're going to play these first two league games, and then we have like 9 practices and 2 non-league games to kind of try to take whatever we learned about ourselves in those first 2 games and try to really get sharp to make a push for a league title. And we had 11 days without any practice. And then even when we got back, we were still dealing with some issues where we only had like 6 guys at practice for the first week. Yeah. And then we get dumped into a really challenging part of our schedule with a lot of the best teams in the league. As Alex mentioned, it was like Attleboro, at Sharon, at Franklin, at OA, when we've had this long break. And so we, like they mentioned, we got off, next thing you know, we're 2-5, Yeah. And it would have been really easy for these guys as a group to just be like, well, I guess we're going to have a losing season. I guess this team's not going anywhere. But they didn't do that. We came in the Sunday after that OA game. We had a pretty honest film session where we looked at some things that we weren't doing very well. We had a really good practice, and then we went on a big run and obviously got ourselves all the way to – we were still playing for the league title on the last night of the season, and we obviously got ourselves into the state tournament. But that 11-day COVID pause was something that I've never experienced in 18 years of coaching. Yeah. It was wild, and the way they were able to come out of that was is really impressive. And again, a credit to them, and I'm really proud of them for that.
Yeah, the thing is, before the season, you can obviously predict like a hard slate of games. Like we're going to focus on the. You can't predict 11 days of no practice, no games, no players being in the building. That really just messed up the whole situation.
My wife could probably write a really good book about what it was like to live with me through an 11-day COVID pause, where like I knew that we were supposed to be practicing and playing, and I was stuck in the house, not able to do that. It was a real challenge.
Yeah, it was probably just maddening, realizing you can't do it.
Maddening is a good, nice, polite way of putting it.
Yeah.
It was really frustrating. But again, for these guys to overcome that the way they did was awesome, So hopefully all that type of stuff's behind us moving forward. But
yeah, and one thing, right after that 5-game slide, you obviously mentioned your team coach has given up. If they knew that by the end of the season they would have won a playoff game, I feel like that would have just blown their minds. They probably would have thought, like, we're trying not winning a playoff game. And then winning all the way to the playoffs. It's so cool.
Certainly a really good lesson for them about, just how you hang in there through adversity and stay with it and just that persistence and resiliency.
No, exactly. It's really how much energy you want to put in the game, how much effort you're willing to put in that really decides it. Sam, I meant to ask you, are you a dual sport athlete too? Because I already know that they obviously are, but are you?
Yeah, no, I've been playing basketball since I was like 6 years old, and I've kind of just stuck with that. So yeah, I kind of play. I play AAU too. I play take charge. So yeah, I've been just playing basketball.
No, because just focus on what you're good at. That's smart for sure. Because obviously, it's really good to do dual sports because it keeps you trained. As long as you're doing basketball all season, that does help you for sure too. That's really cool to see. But no, so Huck and Alex, I'd like to ask you guys actually then, having those two sports that you guys play, you with soccer, Alex, Huck, then you have football, do you think that kind of gives you a new mindset to basketball when you look at it? Because it's not what you're focused on all year. You kind of go from a different team back to the basketball team. Would you say it just changes your outlook on it?
It's definitely a different time adjusting to it because football and basketball they're both pretty competitive, but it's two completely different things. So it definitely takes a little bit to just adjust to the new things, the new team. Yeah. Football is also a lot bigger of a team, so it's a lot more kids. It takes some time getting used to just only 15 kids in the locker room and on the court.
No, it makes a lot of sense for sure. What about you, Alex?
I play soccer because it's helpful for my body, conditioning-wise, and because I enjoy it. But I'm also playing basketball year-round as it is, so I'll play basketball and soccer in one season, so I never really stop.
Are you serious? Do you actually play both during the same season?
Because of AAU, the schedule, it's the same way. I play throughout. So being a soccer captain, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy the guys that we have on the team. But for myself, it's more so just something that I enjoy doing and something that can get me in shape for the winter.
No, for sure. It's a really good way to stay in shape the entire time. Make sure you don't get that rust building up. That's crazy, man. You're playing both during the same exact season. That's awesome. So what are you going to say, Coach?
And football can be a challenge, just like Huck said. The transition, football, their last game is usually right on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we start the Monday after Thanksgiving. So Huck has 3 days off.
Yeah.
And then he's out there on Monday when his body is probably still a little bit beat up. And the conditioning for football is different than the conditioning for basketball. So I give those football guys, I always give them a lot of credit that they're out there, playing full court basketball and flying up and down on just 3 days rest. The soccer team usually gets at least a couple weeks to kind of recover their bodies and get a basketball back in their hands. So it's not easy, but they handle it really well.
Yeah, football, I did not expect it to be a 3 days rest. I thought it'd at least be a week or two. That
Yeah.
is just exceptional that you can actually do that because it's definitely different types of running too. Like football, you're running laps around the field sometimes, but you got to do suicides during basketball. It's a whole different thing. Those are going to kill a lot more than just running around the track for sure. Okay, we are going to our third and final break. When we get back, we are going to give this Foxborough team a couple shout-outs, let them just give shout-outs to their fans and stuff. And then we will also run down the scores. We'll be back. This is 40 Sports Talk. Joe Dez on the board today. Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC, Justin Pereira, the Sportsmaster, and Lucy Cabral. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to 4 Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA. You can call in at 508-222-1320, and we have the Foxborough boys basketball team as our guests. So, my last question for you guys is: was the COVID modified season a challenge for you guys, like with no fans in the stands?
I think this year, we got used to it a little bit. I think last year was more of the challenge, being able to have like a shortened season and having to get used to the masks. And like we had really, like most of us were pretty out of shape going into that season, just like not really doing much before the season. Even with like football, we had no fall sports, so it was my first season with the mask, so we had to get used to it then. But I think this year we were pretty good with it, and definitely a lot more used to it than last year.
100% agree. I think that sophomore year for the three of us was definitely the toughest year that we had to deal with COVID. We only played 10 games that year as to the 20 games that we played this year. So, like, I hit my stride this season, especially in the later half of the season. Maybe I would have done that last year too. But it was definitely a challenge to try and balance, like, being outside of school. We were doing online learning and all that stuff. We were doing hybrid learning with the basketball season, with not having fans, with not playing games, with playing games with masks, going on 2-week breaks because someone from another team tested positive for COVID and we couldn't play for that many days. So it was definitely a challenge to get games and to get film and to do all that type of stuff. But overcoming adversity, that's kind of what we do here at Foxborough High School, I hope to say. So this year I think that we channeled all of that adversity into a really positive season.
Yeah, our sophomore season, there was a lot of weird different rules, like no jump ball and no based on out of bounds. We've been doing that ever since we started playing basketball, so it's definitely weird to have to get used to that. But this year obviously those rules didn't stick, but last year was just like a weird season overall.
Did they take out jump ball for COVID?
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I guess you can argue.
Everything this season was like back to normal rules.
Yes.
Other than masks, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the fact you guys had to wear masks beginning part of the season is pretty crazy still. I'm happy that all is just finally done. It's so much nicer. But then, Huck, did you have to play a football season after the basketball season last year instead of before?
It was pretty weird. We had a spring season for the football, so no fall sports like soccer. I know soccer didn't play, nothing like that.
No, we did play.
Oh, you did play?
Yeah, soccer got it, football didn't.
So football, we couldn't play football, and we had to actually wear masks underneath the helmets, which is a little weird. But we only ended up playing like 6 games that year, and to our usual like 13.
Yeah.
So it was a little weird. Not really used to, and we also couldn't play on the grass for some reason, so we had to play on the turf, which is a little odd because we'd never played there before.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense either. I don't really understand how the COVID would affect it depending on grass or turf. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I'm just happy that stuff's finally done. Alex, I meant to mention you too. You mentioned that you hit your stride this season. You got an all-star last season. I think you hit your stride both seasons. I think you did pretty good either way.
Thank you.
Then do you guys have any shout-outs you want to give before the end of the show, obviously?
I'll give a shout out to Sean O'Leary.
Sean O'Leary.
It's my bash bro, as we like to say. Plays very similar to me. We both kind of hit bodies, and he unfortunately couldn't play this year with an injury, but maybe he'll come back next year. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's going to come back stronger than ever, I imagine. Will be Alex.
We hope. I'm going to give a shout out to senior captain Cam Barrera. Really appreciate that guy. Great guy in the locker room. He was definitely hitting shots at the end of the season this March, and I think he went 12 for 16 in like our past couple of games to end it out. So he deserves a shout out. Shout out Cam.
Yeah. Cam with the 75% 3-point percentage at the end of the season, I guess. Dang.
And I'll give a shout out to Ryan LeClaire, who's supposed to drive me here today. He had a little baseball thing, so yeah, I'll give my shout out to him for sure.
What about you, Coach?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to all of our fans out there. Everybody that came out to support us this year, whether it was parents, whether it was the students, whether it was just people from the school, people from the community, again, like the youth players and their families, former players and their families. It's always great to see them back at the games. So just all the different people that come out and support our team throughout the year. We really appreciate it. We really feel that. And, again, it gives us a great advantage on the court when they have the crowd behind them in the games, but also just it helps us remember that we're playing for something bigger than ourselves. You know what I mean? That we represent Foxborough, we represent the school, the community. And that's something that really drives us, so we just appreciate all the people that come out and support us.
Yeah, you're playing for something better than yourselves at this point. Coach, yet again, when you were talking, we got another caller coming out. I don't know why they keep picking when you're trying to give a nice
It's all good.
All right, caller, you're on 40 Sports Talk with the Foxborough boys basketball team. And they hung up.
Oh, they hung up.
Lost another
oh,
one.
No.
Oh, never mind. I just want to interrupt Coach right there.
No, you're
It's
good.
all good.
I was done.
Okay, then Justin, do you have the scores right now?
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay, real quick. Do we want to run through those now, or do we want to save those for the very end?
No,
You-
you can run through them now.
Okay, Justin, you
Yeah,
wanna run
now
through those?
better now. than
Okay,
now.
nice. We are going to go the Sportsmaster. I'm going to load up his music right now. Almost forgot that. That would have been a big mistake on my part.
Joe, how many times do I have to remind you?
No,
You
I
can't do
know.
it without the music.
Just trying
Yeah,
to-
and I got scores from the semifinals.
Oh, you got some
too.
scores too, Casey? Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in Division 2.
Okay, so Justin, do you have Division 1 basketball? Is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, we believe we will have Division 1 and Division 2 basketball scores in just 1 second. We are going to be loading up the music right now. Not going to leave any dead air time. Of course, we got a 15-second ad right to start this off. That is just perfect.
Yeah, I
But-
just hate when that happens.
Yeah, we're all good now, though. So we will be starting off with the scores. First, we're going to go to Justin Ferreira, the Sportsmaster, and then we'll go over to KC. 3, 2, 1. There you go.
All right, here we go. And this for boys basketball. Lynn English 67, Woburn 53, Hingham 53, St. Paul 35, Haverhill 62, Framingham 56, Cambridge 82, Peabody 66, Durfee 54, Marshfield 49, Wesley 58, Hawkington 44, Methuen 69, Medford 64, Brockton 61, Lincoln Sudbury 55, St. John Shrewsbury 63, North Andover 56, Reading 65, Concord Carsolini 69, BC High 82, Ling English 43, Worcester North 66, Everett 54, Central Catholic 79, Hingham 42, Beverly 87, Haverhill 50, Springfield Central 77, Cambridge 60.
Okay, Casey, we're going to stop that real quick. That was a great job, Justin. We have a caller on the line right now. You're on 40 Sports Talk with the Foxborough men's basketball or boys basketball team.
They were eating food from like 2 years. Hey guys, it's just me calling you guys back.
Okay, Dom, is this you?
This is.
Okay, Dom, you're live right now.
Thank you. I didn't know if Lucy had a chance. I got steps away. But the boys and girls voting will start tomorrow.
Yeah, Dom, I can shout that out for you. I'll be honest, it's kind of, the mic's breaking up a little bit over the phone, so I can shout that out right now for you, though.
All right, thank you. I'll let you go.
Okay, no problem. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for calling in.
You got it.
Okay, that was Dominic Damiano. What he wanted to remind me of, though, we have the Players and Coaches of the Year nominations on the 40 Sports Talk Twitter. Go on to there, vote for who you think is the best coach, best players of the year. We are going to get back to the scores real quick, but make sure you check out the 40 Sports Talk Twitter for that. KC, interrupted you rudely there. That was on me.
No, it's okay.
Here's your music.
So I got the scores from the semifinals to the finals. So, first up we got Malden Catholic 86, Situate 49. I'm reading this differently because I could barely see it.
You're good, Casey.
So Norwood 69, Burlington 66, and Malden Catholic and Norwood will be playing in the finals. So the game time and date and location are to be determined.
Malden Catholic versus Norwood, you said? Sound like a pretty good matchup. I cannot lie. That's actually going to be pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be good, Casey. And then, so we actually have a text that I just got sent from Dominic Damiano. I couldn't really understand too much over the phone call. I had to end up going on the texting way. But we basically wanted to ask, you guys played Trent Santos this year. How is it going against him? He's obviously one of the highly regarded players in the Hucklemuck League. How is it facing him off?
We had a pretty good game. We played pretty well. We lost by 1 point in that game. But Ryan, credit to him. I think he did a very well job on him. Although, if you just look at the stats, it might not show that he played very good defense on him. But Shane Philbin, bench player for us, came in and actually pretty funny. Had his hand in his face so that he couldn't see until the ref made him stop. But him and Ryan did a pretty good job on him, although the box score might not show it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what NBA player used to do all the time. He used to just rub his hand right in the face of the player. That would be the best way to watch defense being played. 'Cause you'd see the player getting so mad he just couldn't see over the hand. It was so funny to see. But we're obviously not going to end the show talking about another team's players. We're going to end it with one more question talking about you guys. Looking towards the future, besides basketball, obviously, what are you guys hoping for? Like, what are you looking forward to, basically? Any avenues that you're focusing on? You obviously have football in the future. Then just what's going on in the future for all you guys?
I'm looking to go play college football for the next 4 years and further my education somewhere. I'm not too sure where yet, but probably figure it out soon.
No, for sure. You have any idea what you're looking to major in, or are you just waiting for next year?
I'm going to major in criminal justice.
Oh, let's go. That'll be awesome. Nice job, Hug. I'm excited about that. What about you, Alex?
Well, the basketball season never really ends for me, so
Yeah.
I'm especially looking forward to this spring for AAU and for club, and to keep working on my game and keep getting ready for next winter. And I am going to look to try and go play college basketball if that opportunity arises itself.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a really fun scouting process during that for sure. You're playing all year. You played soccer same season. It shows that you have work ethic for it. That's just going to be such a fun time for you.
Thank you.
What about you, Sam?
To be honest, I really do not know, but I need to definitely get on that. But honestly, if basketball comes around, then I'll definitely take that opportunity. But yeah, I still need to look into it for sure.
No, you'll be good. And the good thing with basketball, there's so many avenues you can focus on there. You can go in communications, maybe talk about basketball for a little bit. You can go into just write about basketball. There's so many things. Even coaching. Obviously, you have the coach right in front of you. You can do whatever you want with that. Sure. Coach, what about you? We'll end it off with this. What are you looking forward to for the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's such a fun journey with these guys. We've had, Sam mentioned it, these guys have been playing together since they were really young. And, I've been watching them, kind of having an eye on this group since they were really young. I remember them being like young kids in like middle school and thinking this is going to be a really good group. And now, having them right with me on the varsity it's going to end up being 3 years. So it's just a great group of kids that I'm really close with and really love and respect these guys. So I'm just kind of looking forward to that one last ride with them. You know what I mean? Just starting even now, like, watching them go through all their off-season development, stopping by, seeing their summer league games and things like that, watching them, do well in their other sports, watching them, supporting them through their academics, all that stuff. Just kind of having that one last ride, and then obviously looking forward to next season. We're hoping that COVID restrictions will be gone and lifted, and we can just have a normal season with no big interruptions or issues. But I'm just looking forward to going on that journey with them. It's so fun when you get going from like those first couple practices and seeing how it molds together into a family, and then getting really close and playing really well at the end of the year, and just the big games and the big moments and the big atmospheres, and just it's such a fun process. So just looking forward to doing that one more time with this group.
Yeah, Coach, everything is lining up right now for next year to be a storybook year, basically.
I hope so.
I'm going to be in college, Coach. I'm going to still be looking at the local papers to see what's going on in Foxborough. I'm excited to follow you guys next year.
We appreciate that.
This has been a great interview today. Today we had the Foxborough boys basketball team in with us, led by Coach Jonathan Gibbs. We had Andrew Finn, Sam Golub, and Alex Penders with us today. This has been Joe Dez, Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC, Justin Ferrara, the sports master, Lucy Cabral, and Dominic Damiano called in a couple times while he's on assignment. This has been 40 Sports Talk. Thank you for watching.